by Brian Hedger at Jackets Insider. BlueJackets.com Eastern Conference First Round, Game 6, Capitals 3-2, at Blue Jackets 2-3, location, Nationwide Arena, 7:30 p.m., MondayLocal TV, Fox Sports Ohio, Fox Sports Go, Jeff Reimer, Jody Shelley, National TV, CNBC, John Forslund, Eddie Olczyk, Joe Micheletti, Sportsnet, TVA, Canada, Radio, 97.1 FM. Columbus is backed into a proverbial corner, down 3-2 in the later stages of an entertaining first-round matchup, and all that matters now is winning. If the Jackets play another good game and lose, as they did in overtime of Game 5 on Saturday in Washington, D.C., the season will be over. It's become that simple, deserving and fate and all that stuff. It's about finding a way to win a hockey game right now, Blue Jackets coach John Tortorella said Sunday, after a brisk practice at Nationwide Arena. So, if we get outshot 50-20 Monday night, but we end up on the right side, we'll take it. That's because a win will extend the season by at least one more game, forcing a Game 7 on Wednesday to conclude the series at Capital One Arena, where Columbus won the first two games in overtime to take a 2-0 lead. They've since lost 3 straight games, including one in double overtime and the most recent one Saturday in overtime. There's so many different ways of winning and losing in playoff hockey, so many ebbs and flows, said Tortorella, who twice proclaimed following Game 5 the series would last 7 games. That's just the way the game is. We should feel really confident about how we played Saturday night and try to bring it right into Game 6 here. That's exactly what the Blue Jackets plan to do, after coming up short last week in their first 2 home games of the series. Despite record crowds attending each of those games, they lost Game 3 in double OT and Game 4 by a 4-1 score, looking a little nervous in the process. This time, they have no choice but to pitch anxiety and pressure into the nearest garbage can. They'd still love to win a home game for Blue Jackets fans, not to mention the series, but they can't get too wrapped up in it. Bringing the same effort and execution from Game 5 to the ice, if not better, will be critical. If we play the way we can, I think we have an opportunity to dictate the series and win the series, said Matt Calvert, who had 2 of the Jackets' 3 goals Saturday. We did a lot more of that last game. I still think we could be better for a full 60 minutes, and we're going to focus on that Monday night. We're going to have our crowd behind us and all the boys in here are excited about it. The Capitals are anticipating that same atmosphere, only planning to ruin it. The home crowd will get them jacked up, and you've just got to make sure you're ready to play from the get-go. Make sure you're playing your game. You're playing with maximum effort and maximum commitment, and slowly, shift to shift, see if you can push them out of the game a little bit. Washington coach Barry Trotz said, "You try to get the momentum going your way, and if you can, it can be pretty powerful. That's the thing we have to fight against." Series RECAPGAME 1 Blue Jackets 4, Capitals 3, OT. The Capitals took a 2-0 lead on power play goals scored late in the first period by Evgeny Kuznetsov, who made the Blue Jackets pay a heavy price for Josh Anderson's heavy hit on defenseman Michal Kempny. Anderson was assessed a boarding major and game misconduct, which led to Kuznetsov's goals. Columbus clawed back on goals by Alexander Wennberg and veteran Thomas Vanek, before Wennberg was injured in the third by Wilson. Devontae Smith-Pelly and Seth Jones traded goals past the midway point of the third, making it 3-3, and Artemi Panarin won at 6:03 into overtime. Game 2 Blue Jackets 5, Capitals 4, OT. Washington built a 2-0 lead in the first period for the second straight game, including Alexander Ovechkin's first in the series, but the Capitals allowed a breakaway goal by Cam Atkinson in the final stages of the period to cut their lead in half. Ovechkin's second power play of the game started the scoring in the second, pushing Washington's lead to 3-1, but Columbus scored the next 3 goals, by Anderson, Atkinson and Zach Werenski for a 4-3 lead starting the third. The Caps outshot the Jackets 21-5 in the third, aided by 4 of the Jackets' 8 penalties, and tied it late on a power play goal by TJ Oshie. Once again, the Jackets prevailed in overtime, getting a goal from Calvert to end it. Sergei Bobrovsky made a franchise record 54 saves. Game 3 Capitals 3, Blue Jackets 2 OT. Ovechkin told reporters after the morning skate the series would go back to Washington for Game 5 on Saturday, tied 2-2. The Jackets came inches from ruining his proclamation, hitting the post 4 times, but the Capitals won 9 minutes into the second overtime off a fortunate bounce that followed Bobrovsky's 42nd save. The puck hit Lars Eller's left skate and bounced into the net, silencing a record crowd of 19,337 inside Nationwide Arena, the largest to ever watch a Blue Jackets game there. Panarin and rookie Pierre-Luc Dubois scored goals in regulation for Columbus, while Wilson and John Carlson scored goals in regulation for the Capitals, who started Braden Holtby, 33 saves, over Philip Grubauer. Game 4 Capitals 4, Blue Jackets 1. The Capitals accomplished what they set out to do after dropping the first two games in overtime. They matched the Blue Jackets' two-game road sweep and raised the stakes with the victory, which was the first that ended in regulation. Kuznetsov had a goal and 2 assists to lead the way. Ovechkin scored his third goal of the series and added an assist, and Wilson also finished with a goal and assist for Washington, which got 23 saves from Braden Holtby. TJ Oshie also scored a goal to make it 2-0 in the second period, capping a man advantage by scoring the Capitals' 7th power play goal of the series. Boone Jenner scored the lone goal for the Blue Jackets, who got 29 saves from Bobrovsky. Game 5 Capitals 4, Blue Jackets 3, OT. Columbus played one of its best games but came out on the losing end in overtime again. Looking to rebound strong from their loss in Game 4, the Blue Jackets started strong. They grabbed the 1-0 lead on Colbert's shorthanded goal halfway through the first period, the first of his 2 goals in the game, but the Capitals responded quickly. Backstrom tied it about 3 minutes later on the first of 2 goals in the game for him, scored off a fortunate bounce, and after that it was back to nail-biting hockey the rest of the way. Kuznetsov and TJ Oshie also scored goals for the Capitals, while Oliver Bjorkstrand scored the first playoff goal of his NHL career to tie it 3-3, 2:30 into the third period. Backstrom ended at 11:53 into OT by tipping a point shot by Dmitry Orlov past Bobrovsky, whose hot Capitals. Backstrom had 3 points, 2 goals, 1 assist in Game 5 to push his total for the series to 8 points, 2 goals, 6 assists, tying Carlson for the team scoring lead. Kuznetsov scored his team-high 4th goal of the series in Game 5 and has 7 points, 4 goals, 3 assists. Blue Jackets. Colbert's 2 goals in Game 5 gave him 3 in the series, including the game winner in OT in Game 2. He's the Blue Jackets' all-time leading goal scorer in the Stanley Cup playoffs with 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points and a +10+- rating in 15 games. Analytics. Columbus Corsi, 5v5 shot attempts percentage, 48.7%, 273 for, 288 against, 11th 5v5 scoring chance for percentage, SCF percent, 49.4%, 134, 133 against, 10th 5v5 high danger scoring chance percentage, HDSC percent, 41.0%, 41 for, 59 against, 14th 5v5 shots for percentage, SF percent, 48.7%, 133 for, 140 against, 11th Washington Corsi, 5v5 shot attempts percentage, 51.3%, 288 for, 273 against, 6th 5v5 scoring chance for percentage, SCF percent, 50.6%, 133 for, 130 against, 7th 5v5 high danger scoring chance percentage, HDSC percent, 59.0%, 59 for, 41 against, 3rd 5v5 shots for percentage, SF percent, 51.3%, 144, 133 against, 6th as special TEAMSPOWER play. Columbus Washington penalty kill. Columbus Washington scouting REPORTEYES on the Capitals. Washington has made some adjustments on special teams, including strategies killing penalties. After allowing 4 power play goals in their first 8 times short-handed in the series, the Capitals are 13 for 13 killing penalties, going back to overtime of Game 2 in Washington. They haven't allowed a power play goal in the past 3 games, scoring 3 of their own, and they've won all 3 games. "I'm not going to tell you specifically what we've done," Capitals coach Barry Trotz told reporters Sunday. "That'd be giving out maybe an advantage that we look at, but I will say that the penalty kill has been a major contribution to us, just as the power play was in the first few games offensively for us. The penalty kill has been a major factor for us in the last few games." Trotz said Washington isn't shadowing Panarin, but the Capitals have held the Jackets' leading scorer without a point in the past 2 games. Panarin scored the overtime game winner in Game 1 and had 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists, in the first 3 games. "We went into the series knowing fully well how good of a player Panarin is," Trotz said. "He's a leader for them. It's no different than what they would do with Kuznetsov, Backstrom or Ovechkin. It's got to be a team game. There's no one shadowing anybody. You know you want to take time and space from top players in this league, and if you do and you take away as many options as possible, you have a chance to limit their damage that they can do to you." Since taking over as the Capitals starter in the series in Game 3, Holtby has played more on par with his career resume than he did in the final 3 months of the regular season. Holtby, who had a 3.47 goals against average (GA) and .893 save percentage from January 11th through April 7th, is 3-1-0 with a 1.66 GAA and .936 save percentages. Since making his first appearance in the series to start the third period of Game 2 in Washington, Holtby has made 102 saves on 109 shots. That includes 33 saves on 35 shots in the Capitals' 4-3 double overtime win in Game 3 at Nationwide Arena and 39 saves on 42 shots in Washington's overtime win Saturday in Game 5. Eyes on the Blue Jackets. Alexander Wennberg's return was a good one. He made a nice play to get the puck to defenseman Ian Cola for a shot that tied the game on Bjorkstrand's tip-in goal at 2:30 of the third, but his presence in the lineup allowed Columbus to achieve better balance among forward lines. Wennberg, who missed Games 2, 3 and 4 with an upper body injury that occurred in Game 1 on an illegal hit by Capitals forward Tom Wilson, stepped back into his role of center on the second line. That allowed captain Nick Foligno to center the third line, while reuniting Wennberg with Boone Jenner and Thomas Van Eck. According to NaturalStatric.com, the Blue Jackets had more 5-on-5 shot attempts, 121 to 101, shots, 74 to 50, and scoring chances, 55 to 40, with Wennberg in Games 1 and 5, and less 5-on-5 attempts, 152 to 187, shots, 59, and scoring chances, 75 to 93, without him in Games 2 to 4. Jay Beagle again won most of his individual face-offs in Game 5, going 8 for 11, 73%, but he can't take every draw for the Capitals. The Blue Jackets won the overall battle of draws by winning 35 of 62 face-offs, 56%, led by Foligno, 67%, and Brandon Dubinsky, 73%. Like Beagle, Dubinsky can be used as a roving face-off specialist, taking draws to start plays for lines other than his own, in all zones. Dubinsky, Foligno and McElligott were especially effective winning draws in the defensive zone Saturday, combining to win 12 of 17 for a 70.6% success rate. Panarin isn't the only member of the Jackets' top line who hasn't gotten a point the past two games. Rookie center Pierre-Luc Dubois and right wing Cam Atkinson haven't scored either, after the trio combined for 14 points, 5 goals, 9 assists, in the first 3 games. "It's obviously a very important part of our team," Tortorella said. "You'd be surprised how many plays Panarin did make Saturday night. He's not on the board, but he did make quite a few plays. But certainly, when we play Monday, your top guys need to be your top guys." Projected lineups: Capitals forwards Alex Ovechkin, Yevgeny Kuznetsov, Tom Wilson, Chandler Stevenson, Nicklas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, Britt Connolly, Lars Eller, Devante Smith, Pelly, Jacob Vrana, Jay Beagle, Alex Chiasson, defenseman Michal Kempny, John Carlson, Dmitry Orlov, Matt Niskanen, Brooks Orpik, Christian Djoos, goaltenders Braden Holtby, Philip Grubauer scratched, Madison Bowie, Andrei Burakovsky, upper body, Jakub Jerabik, Shane Gersich, Brian Pinho, Travis Boyd, Phoenix Copley. Blue Jackets forwards Artemi Panarin, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Cam Atkinson, Boone Jenner, Alexander Wennberg, Thomas Vanek, Matt Calvert, Nick Foligno, Josh Anderson, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Mark Letestu, Brandon Dubinsky, defenseman Zach Werenski, Seth Jones, Cole, David Savard, Ian Murray, Marcus Nativara, goaltenders are Gabe Bobrovsky, Junis Korpisalo, Luthers, Marcus Hannikainen, Sonny Milano, Alex Broadhurst, Taylor Corney, Jack Johnson, Scott Harrington, Dean Kukin, Lucas Sedlick, upper body, View more.